Hey everyone, it's Nichol Spohr and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be creating a trio of snowflake cutout window cards using components from the Simon Says stamp January 2022 card kit called Warmest Wishes. Included in the kit is a beautiful SEAFOAM Glitz glitter gel and the scattered snowflake stencil, which is going to be the base of all of our cards. Then of course we're going to be using images from Warmest Wishes as well as sentiments to complete the design and even decorate it with some of the self-adhesive gems included. I'm also going to be using the cardstock from the kit. So I'm doing a little unboxing here and going to show you everything you get in the kit, including a little sucker or lollipop, whatever you want to call it. And then we have these self-adhesive gems. This is the SEAFOAM Glitz Glitter Gel. It is gorgeous. 2 envelopes, an embossing folder. This is so pretty. It's the faceted snowflakes. A bunch of pattern paper from La La Land Crafts called Starry Night. I'm actually using these in my video for Simon Says stamp that will be released soon, later in the month here in December, so definitely check that out. And then the Scattered Snowflakes 6x6 stencil and Warmest Wishes stamp set, Dull Pink, Lavender, Soft Navy, Simon Says stamp cardstocks, and Nina 110-pound weight cardstock. So here are the first products we're going to use. I'm actually going to trim down the lavender, dull pink, and soft navy cardstock to 4 by 5 1/4 inches. This is going to be slightly smaller than A2 size, leaving us with a nice white border all the way around the design. My goal here is we are going to be using the Scattered Snowflakes 6x6 stencils with the Glitz Glitter Gel in SEAFOAM, and I'm going to show you how you get a two-tone pattern paper, textured cardstock, whatever you want to call it, look just with plain cardstock, a stencil, and some Glitz Glitter Gel. It is amazing. We're going to start with the dull pink ink. I am using the waffle flower stencil mat underneath. It really holds everything down so nicely. And then I am going to lay out the SEAFOAM Glitz Glitter Gel, kind of nice, heavy up at the top, and I'm going to use a stencil pal to pull that color all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to scrape some of that off, put a little bit more here on my panel, and again, scrape this off again for a nice even coating. And then we're going to go ahead and remove any excess and place it back in the jar. Now I'm going to carefully pull up this stencil and set it aside to air dry all the way. In fact, I let mine air dry overnight before die cutting the background, as I'll show you here in a little bit. I also did not clean my stencil in between doing all of my backgrounds. So by using the stencil mat, you can clearly see any surface you use, you're probably going to be able to see where you were before. And because all of my cardstock backgrounds are exactly the same size, I placed it right back where it was. I lined the stencil up with the design that's around the edge, and I'm going to again apply a thick layer of the SEAFOAM Glitz Glitter Gel along the top, using my palette knife and then taking the stencil pal and pulling that color all the way down to the bottom. This time we're going to end up with a lavender and aqua background. The first background was a bright pink and aqua. Each of these are so unique and beautiful. Again, I'm going to peel this up, set this aside to completely dry, and as it dries, it does just kind of gradually flatten back out. It's so amazing. Next, we're going to take probably what is, I don't know if it's my favorite, but I love navy and aqua together, so I was really, really excited about this one. But I love all the backgrounds. They're all very unique. And we're going to place the soft navy cardstock down, use our stencil again. We have a thick layer of the SEAFOAM Glitz Glitter Gel, and then I'm going to use the stencil pal, which gives such a nice, beautiful, even coat. And we'll peel this up. Set this one aside to air dry as well. Look at that. Isn't it amazing? And then I'm going to very quickly take everything, wash it off with some warm water and a little dish soap if you need to, and set those aside to dry. Now my backgrounds are all the way dry. This is actually the next day, and I am going to die cut a snowflake background from each of these so we can create a little see-through window. So I'm actually using two different Simon Says Stamp die sets. This first one is the Simon Says Stamp Snowflake Trio, and what you get with this is the outline of the snowflake and then the detail snowflake, which you can see I've die cut from excess soft navy cardstock included in the kit. So we're going to be creating this cute little layered window here in each design. And I am going to do the same thing for each of my backgrounds. However, I will kind of show you each card one by one from about this point on. You can definitely do it assembly line style, but I'm going to assemble each one after I get these stamped. So I'm taking 4 images from the Warmest Wishes 6x8 clear stamp set included in the kit, and we're going to stamp these images on some of the Nina Smooth White cardstock from the kit using a black ink for Copic coloring. I think I'm using the Hero Arts Intensified black ink here. And I did die cut these. The coordinating dies for Warmest Wishes are an additional purchase from Simon Says Stamp if you would like to pick them up. You can also pick up the stamps and dies individually. You can pick up the Scattered Snowflake Stencil individually, the SEAFOAM Glitz Glitter Gel. So if you just want to maybe pick up 1 or 2 things and you don't want to commit to the whole kit, that is an option. This snowflake that I die cut from the pink and aqua background is also from the Snowflake Trio dies, which these are part of the December release that was released on December 1st. Simon Says Stamp does the best snowflakes. I know I've said this in another video, but they have such amazing detail snowflakes, and these are so unique. So what I'm doing is I'm using my cutout background as a guide to layer in the detail snowflake. And the reason I did that first is because I'm able to line it up perfectly. Then we're going to layer a 4 by 5¼ inch vellum panel back behind this. And actually I do want to trim up the edge here. I don't want the snowflake to stick out past my vellum edge. So I'm using my scissors to snip that before the glue sets all the way. And it does take me a minute. I'm so sorry. I know I had to pull it close to me to see what I'm doing. There we go. And I'm just going to snip those even. And I'm holding the vellum in place just as long as it's close. I didn't want little pokey things sticking out the side. I hope that makes sense. And then the detail snowflake is going to be adhered directly to our white top fold card base. These are also from Simon Says Stamp. I know I've mentioned this a lot, but they are my favorite to use. I love pre-made card bases. They have them in top fold, side fold, mini slimline, 4-bar. So definitely have all of those. They're pre-cut and scored and are amazing. Next, we're going to take our vellum panel and then also the die cut snowflake panel, and we're going to use that panel as a guide to stamp our greetings. Now, the reason from this point forward that I ended up doing each of the cards individually is I wanted to use different sentiments and different snowmen on each card. So for the first one, this is going to be Season of Love, sending you and yours the warmest and most love-filled wishes ever. This does not necessarily translate to holiday. You for sure could use this stamp set for holidays for December 2022. Haven't quite gotten that to roll off the tongue yet. I don't know about you guys, but I have a hard time every time the calendar rolls over getting my mind to say the right year. But I love that Simon Says Stamp generally comes out with a snowflake, snowman type of kit for January. That way we're still crafting the winter months, but you can use them for lots of occasions. So I purposely did this with the pink and aqua card because I think this would also be a really fun Valentine. It doesn't say Valentine's Day anywhere on it or anything like that, but I think Season of Love and then the rest of the greeting, I used 2 different sentiments from Warmest Wishes, is really, really fun. And if you guys have followed me for a while, you know that I love vellum. Vellum is my favorite little trick to add sentiments to cards that just have that nice frosty feel and fun, and white embossing on vellum is always my favorite. I think it looks elegant, I think it looks pretty, and it's going to tie into the white of our snowman perfectly. So this is the snowman I picked to use on this card. I am going to go ahead then and adhere my panel, the die cut panel, to my vellum. I'm going to make sure I use a nice strong adhesive, and then we're going to pop up this piece with the vellum attached behind it over our background. I'm not going to make this a shaker because our snowflake does hang off the edge of the card. There's no place to hide the adhesive along that vellum edge. If I had done the snowflake in the center, this would be a very cute shaker idea as well. I didn't really want to do a shaker here. I just wanted to have it popped up off of that detail snowflake a little bit so it gives you that nice vellum window effect, and then you have just the glimmer, I guess, of that snowflake peeking through the vellum back behind our greetings. I am using some acrylic blocks to hold my panel flat. I had to use a little liquid glue where it's daintier, and then I have foam adhesive on the back of my panel that I attached off camera, and I'm so sorry, my head is in the way. And I'm going to line that up and pop this in place. So you can see the snowflake peeking through there. I love how this looks, and I'm excited to get the snowman colored because I think that's going to tie it all together. That is going to be the very next thing we do. After we add some of these self-adhesive gems included in the kit, I will be using these gems for all 3 cards. I made sure to use some sort of bright pink Copic markers on all 3 snowmen so that I could tie in these gemstones that are included in the January kit. So I think these are so much fun. I'm using the medium and smallest sizes. I'm not much of a big gemstone type of girl, so often you'll notice that I use a lot of the smaller sizes. After I've scattered those around, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and we are going to color in our cute little snowman. So these images in this stamp set are absolutely adorable. I am starting with B00 and then B000, and we're going to just kind of shade that around on the snowman itself to give it that frosty, fun type look. We're not going to completely cover or color in the entire thing with that. In fact, I'm going to smooth out the edges a little bit or blur the edges with a colorless blender, but I love how this ends up looking once we've added the rest of the color. A little R30 for the cheeks, YR04 and 07 for the carrot nose. And then the color combination I picked out to match the bright pink is one I bet I have never used, you guys. If I have, it's been years. It is RV06 and 09. I tend to not gravitate towards these colors, and I really worked, I kind of swatched them off camera trying to find something, and I have to say, I love this color combination. I have no idea why I've never used it before because I really, really love it. I think if you're looking for a bright pink, I could see using this for Valentine's Day. I could see even using this with reds and aquas for more of a modern type of Christmas. Really, really cute. Summertime colors. I think this would be cute for summer too. So I'm going to color in some of the scarf and hat with this color combination before we move on to some aquas for the detail stripes around the brim of the hat, the pom-pom, and on the scarf. For that, we are going to be using BG10, 11, and 13. So there's not going to be any dark navy or lavender on this particular image. I didn't really feel like it needed it. You'll notice I really draw my color choices for each snowman from the colors of the background. And the only exception to that is finding a way to incorporate this bright pink color combination in each of the snowmen so that the gemstones really kind of play off of that a bit. So these 3 colors are used again: brim of the hat, stripes on the scarf, pom-pom, and buttons. Now I'm going to take BG13 and add a little dot detail to the pom-pom so it looks like it has a bit more texture. Reshading some of the stripes on the hat. I felt like maybe they didn't quite get the color that I want, the buttons as well. And then we will go ahead and take B000, and you're going to notice I am going to add extra detail. Now I didn't do it till after I adhered my snowman to my card, but I love it so much that I'm going to continue that on the rest of my card designs. I'm also going to pop up this snowman with foam adhesive right next to the greeting, right next to this snowflake cutout window. We're going to peel off the backing paper from my favorite scrapbook adhesives, foam adhesive squares. I am super picky about my foam adhesive, and I love scrapbook adhesives for their squares, both the big and the small, and then Doris, I think that's how you say it, for the foam adhesive strips. We're going to add detail to the eyes on our snowman with a black jelly roll pen. We're going to take a little glossy accents and use that for the nose and the buttons. We're going to take a white pen and add highlights to the hat, the scarf, little things like that. And then the glossy accents will dry pretty quickly. It's not a very thick layer and it's very, very small, but I love the finished detail it adds. Now I'm going to take that B00 as I mentioned, and we're just going to add some little dots with the very tip of our marker, and that adds to the detail and design of this snowman. Isn't that cute? I just love this. It's such a simple design, but so effective and such a showstopper with that textured background in the Glitz glitter gel. Next up, we have the soft navy and seafoam background. Same thing as before. The snowflake here is going to be positioned in the upper right instead of the lower left. And again, we're going to use our frame as a guide to adhere this snowflake to our background. I'm using a very fine tip on my Ranger Multi-Matte Medium to apply the glue. I know it's really close to the camera, so it's a little bit blurred out. And then we're going to just glue this down. And again, snip off anything hanging out past the edge of where the panel is going to go. Once we have that done, we're going to stamp our sentiments for this design. And for this one, I'm playing around with the snowman I have left. Originally, I think I had planned on using that snowman, but I didn't like it as well on this card. I think it's going to work better on the lavender card, and ultimately I'm so glad I switched it because I like the coloring of the outfit for the lavender and aqua background. But we're going to be using Sending Happy Thoughts Your Way. We're going to be using the tree and then the tiny snowman for this particular design. I didn't use all of the trees on these cards, but definitely make sure and check out the Simon Says Stamp YouTube channel soon because I am using a lot of these same snowmen and the trees to create some scene cards that I am super excited about. So altogether, I have created 5 cards, 3 in this video and 2 in the Simon Says Stamp video just with this kit, and I have so much left over. I have embossed some backgrounds with the embossing folder, so if you guys want me to create some cards with those, I did it out of all the cardstock in the kit, just playing around with the snowflake background. Let me know, drop me a comment down below here on YouTube, and I will do a video with those. I really love this kit and I really love the colors. I think it's always obvious when I actually super love something or find a lot of the components useful. I always love the kit, but sometimes I find it easier to use than others, and this is one that I absolutely love. I love stencils, I love embossing folders, and snowmen. So this kit is a win for sure. We're going to stamp and emboss our greeting here on the vellum. We're going to place our panel over the vellum panel and then pop it up with foam adhesive. I will cut out part of that out of the video just to save a little bit of time. However, we are going to be coloring the next set of images. so that you can see exactly how I colored them. I have listed the colors across the top of the screen. You may have noticed with the last image. I have also listed them down in the description below here on YouTube, and I have listed them out on my blog for easy reference. I know that the self-healing mat that I use here on my videos, sometimes the lines interfere with reading the numbers really well, but I've had a lot of requests to keep the numbers on the screen, so I am doing that, but I also want to make sure I list them below so that you don't maybe have to pause the video to write them down. You can easily just go back and catch those later when you're done viewing. The base for my tree is YG61. Then I'll be using YG67 and 63 with a feathering technique to feather in the tree. I used E55 and 57 for the tree trunk. This green and brown color combination, this is the only time I'm using this throughout, since this is the only tree I'm using in my cards, but I felt like it was a nice little addition with this smaller snowman. You could definitely add trees to either of the other designs very easily. This is my favorite tree. Actually, all the trees from this stamp set I could see using on all kinds of cards, especially like holiday cards for 2022. It's a really, really good tree set. We're going to start with B00 and B000 again, adding that shading, and then blending out with our colorless blender. We will be using the B00 to add the little dots here in a bit as well. Little R0, or pardon me, R30 for the cheeks, YR04 and 09, no, YR04 and 07 for the carrot nose. And then because this is on the soft navy and aqua background, I want to make sure that there's some navy represented in the accessories the snowman is wearing, as well as aqua, but we want to tie in some pink, remember, because we are going to be using those pink gemstones included in the kit. And I really love aqua, navy, and bright pink together, so this is going to be awesome to decorate the little brim of the hat with all three colors, and then the pom-pom is going to have some of that bright pink as well. Other than that, the scarf's going to be aqua, the ear flaps for the hat are going to be a soft navy. So it's very minimal pink, but it is going, once we pull it all together, I think you're going to see that it just works perfectly. I'm using B97 and 99 for my navy color combination, BG11 and 13 for my aqua color combination. So you might notice in the finished card that this scarf looks like it has stripes. The scarf actually is plain. I'm going to add the stripes. We're going to color it in with our aqua colors, and then we're going to go back with I think I used 99, and just draw in some little stripes, and then draw in some additional little stripes with BG13, and then finally our white pin. So it really gives the scarf a ton of texture. I made sure and did the buttons going down the front in each of the three colors as well. I thought this was a great opportunity to represent all three of the colors we're using for the accessories here. And here's that dot detail for the snowman, which is an understated, but I think really effective way to add some great detail. Here are those stripes I was talking about, just using the tip of my marker and going very, very lightly. We're going to use BG13 to darken those up. Color in the other button with our pink, I forgot earlier. And then we will take our white pen and add some little highlight detail. Take a black pen and add detail to the eyes, and then we're going to pop up both the tree and the snowman with foam adhesive. I'm using a combination of foam adhesive strips and foam adhesive squares, pardon me, to attach these, and it took me a minute to kind of get the placement just right. I don't know why, but I don't want it to cover up my sentiment, and I felt like I was maybe just a little too high because it just was covering it up. I'm going to drop it a little bit lower, and I think that's going to look a lot better. And then of course we want to finish the panel with a scattering of those pink gemstones again. I am using the Spellbinders Tool-in-One to easily pick them up and pop them in place. You can use all kinds of different tools for that. I just like the nice little sharp tip to kind of get them off of the paper without using my fingers and getting the oil from my fingers on those gems. So it works really nice to kind of help pick them up and then pop them right where I want them to go. And I love the bright pink against the navy and aqua background. I think it works really well. Finally, we are going to work with the aqua and lavender background. This again has a snowflake down in the bottom left corner. Now, the last snowflake in the snowflake trio was kind of small, so I ended up not using that one, and I'm going to use the Simon Says Stamp Dainty Snowflake, which is a little bit different design, but it's about the same size as these other two snowflake trio dies. Look at the detail on that, you guys. Isn't that beautiful? I'm going to glue this lavender snowflake down. We're going to snip it off to make sure it lines up with our panel. We're going to place the vellum back behind our panel and then stamp that with another sentiment. Actually, we're going to use two different sentiments. So the last card was actually 1 sentiment. It was just longer and it had 2 different fonts, which I like. I like a scripty font with more of a type set font. So now we're going to use Let It Snow, and we're so far apart and I wish we were closer so I could hug you. I think this is a great card for any time, and we're going to stamp the longer phrase first. I'm using my cutout panel as a guide as well as my snowman. And I want to make sure that I stamp the longer of the 2 sentiments first so that I fit it within the space provided, and then we will stamp Let It Snow above that. And I want to make sure it's straight. It was not straight, so I'm going to fix that. I'm going to prep my vellum with my powder tool. We're going to stamp that with the Hero Arts Embossing and Watermark ink. I'm going to remove that stamp. We're going to put Let It Snow right there in place. I'm going to remove the frame, stamp the rest of my sentiment there. I'm going to use my powder tool as well. And then we'll sprinkle on the white embossing powder and heat set that. That looks good. We're going to adhere the panel over the vellum. And then just like before, we're going to color in our last snowman and pop it up right next to the snowflake cutout. Now again, I want to incorporate some bright pink here so that I can use the pink gemstones on this. And we're going to use that in more of like the mittens and the trim and the scarf. And then the coat's going to be that pretty lavender, color. So we're going to be using lavender, aqua, and pink on this card and no navy. I think aqua made an appearance on all 3 cards, mostly because we used the SEAFOAM Glitz Glitter Gel. So the aqua color combination I'm using today is BV1113, BV000011 and 13. And I know my coat colors, are a little bit lower on the screen. I know when I edited this, I felt like they were just a little too high and hard to read. So hopefully, I know they're kind of interfering with my coloring a bit. I think I dropped the snowman down a little bit here in a minute, so hopefully that works. The BV0000 has a lot of colorless blender in it. It's very light, so you can see the blending isn't super great here. The highlight on the hood is perfect, but I do need to pull in a little of my mid-tone color to pull that a little further down and then go back over it with the BV0000. It's a lot of zeros to get the color just right. Then we have B00 and 000 for the snowman again with the colorless blender and some little dots. R30 for the cheek, YR04 and 09. Pardon me, oh yes, for the carrot nose, 07, not 09. And we're going to do the bright pink and aqua for the scarf. The trim on the hood and coat. I love the detail of this outfit. I think the coat is super cute. The scarf is super cute. I really, really, really love. I think this is probably my favorite snowman in this stamp set. And I used it for my other set of cards for Simon Says Stamp as well, with a completely different color combination. And it just looks amazing no matter what you want to color it in. It's so cute. I want a coat like this. I don't know about you guys, but I think this coat's cute. So here is my bright pink. I went ahead and did the bright pink first, even on the little tassels on the hood. Trim. I will come back for the mitten. I don't think I color it yet, and also for the buttons on the coat. So I went with my dark color first. We're going to blend out with the light color. Add in all of our shading. I just love the pink and lavender, just like this, but when you add in the aqua, it is so much fun. So the aqua is going to be the other color for the tassels, the trim, the base color for the scarf. That's going to be BG13 and 11. And then of course we're going to pop this guy up with some foam adhesive squares, take the black jelly roll pen and use it to add detail to the eyes, glossy accents for the carrot nose and for the buttons on the jacket. All of those things and the little white highlights just add the perfect finishing touch to this. I really think these are so cute. You guys will have to tell me in the comments down below which snowman from the Warmest Wishes stamp set is your favorite. Finally, we're going to pop this up next to the snowflake window. We're going to add our pink gemstones and we will be finished. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this trio of snowflake cutout window cards featuring the Simon Says Stamp January 2022 card kit called Warmest Wishes. The supplies I used to create my cards are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here is another video featuring Simon Says Stamp that you might be interested in. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell to never miss a new card making video. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my Patreon members. If you would like to become a member of Patreon, please click the link down below. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.